Gang, what's up? In this video, we're going to be exploring Carney's new government with his new cabinet. Most of these ministers have been around longer than your leg. He may have shuffled the deck. That deck was full of jokers. These clowns have hurt every portfolio they've ever touched and will continue to do so. This isn't incompetence, guys. This is a plan of corruption to deconstruct our country. It's happening in real time. This is your warning, but let's get familiar with some of the senior ministers. You're going to know all these twits, but let's take a second look at what we'll be dealing with in the House of Commons come September 15th when Parliament resumes. This should be pretty fun. There's always going to be one common sense conservative blasting these ministers with questions, but look at the way they behave. It's so embarrassing. It's scary. I don't mean to be cynical. I still have hope, but boy, that's dwindling. Let's kick it off here. We've got Stephen McKinnon right out the gate. He's hard to take.
Hey, that's something everyone can enjoy.
The Honourable Member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands.
Before taking office, the Prime Minister helped establish multi-billion-dollar investment funds that were placed in offshore tax havens. Now he's shielding those investments from public scrutiny with a blind trust that hides but doesn't remove potential conflicts of interest. Now, Canadians are lined up at food banks in record numbers. They can't pay their rent, but they are paying their taxes, and they want to know if the Prime Minister paid taxes on his investments. So can the Prime Minister, who I welcome here today, confirm that none of the investments that he placed in the blind trust were previously held in offshore tax havens?
Here, here. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Speaker, as you know, the Prime Minister has followed all the rules even before they were required. He'll continue complying with all the rules. Opposition members like to distract Canadians with these hypotheticals and conjured scenarios. The fact is we have a Prime Minister, a new government, hard at work at creating opportunity for Canadians, the strongest economy in the G7, and reducing taxes. The opposition don't like that so much, so they dig dirt on day one. Shame on them, Mr. Speaker. We're going to continue our work.
Shame on somebody.
The Honourable Member for Leeds, Grenville, Thousand Islands, Rideau Lakes.
Canadians don't want an explanation in how to bend over backwards to fit through ethical loopholes. They want to be reassured that after a decade of serial ethical law breaking, that they can have confidence that the Prime Minister is going above just the basic minimum standard. So the Prime Minister, again, who I welcome to the chamber, can he stand up and just assure Canadians that none of the funds that he had previously were held in offshore tax havens? And can he tell Canadians what those investments were in when he sat at...
He had hundreds of conflicts of interest, not like one or two, hundreds.
his first cabinet meeting?
Here. The Honourable Government House Leader.
Speaker, Canada has among the most stringent ethics guidelines in the world. The Prime Minister has complied with those ethics guidelines and surpassed the requirements contained in those ethics guidelines. What the Prime Minister is busy doing is not what this member is busy doing. What the Prime Minister is busy doing is creating opportunity for Canada, standing up in a trade war against the United States, reducing our taxes, building new homes, and creating the strongest economy in the G7. That's what we're up to.
Honorable Député. Oral questions, questions orales. The Honourable Member for Calgary, Midnapore.
Mr. Speaker, this Prime Minister said that he would be guided by a new fiscal discipline. He said that he would limit operational expenditures to no greater than an increase of 2%. Yet he's presented a bill of $500 billion to Canadians. Single mothers, seniors, small businesses all make a budget before they spend. You would think that a highly esteemed banker would know that and would do that. So is he really committed to a new fiscal discipline? Or is he just like the last guy?
L'Honorable Ministre des Finances et du Revenu National.
Nobody enjoys being the villain more than little FPC here. He's about this big.
Mr. Speaker, it's a pleasure to be back in the House, and it's a pleasure to deliver for Canadians, Mr. Speaker. We are delivering on our plans to make life more affordable in Canada, Mr. Speaker. The first measure we introduced was a tax cut for 22 million Canadians. There are Canadians in our riding that are going to benefit from the tax
Did you get your $9?
cut. We're eliminating GST on first-time home buyers for their new house, Mr. Speaker, and we are removing the consumer carbon price from law, Mr. Speaker. Together, we're going to build Canada strong, and I hope the Conservative will join us in that.
The honourable member for Calgary, Midnapore.
Well, Mr. Speaker, Liberals never learn and they never keep their promises. The Treasury Board president said in the last Parliament that she would find savings of $7.1 billion on high-paid consultants. Instead, this government is now spending another $6 billion on high-paid consultants. Wow. The Prime Minister said that he would limit increases in operational spending of no greater than 2%. Yet he's presented a $500 billion bill to Canadians. So who is the Prime Minister going to choose, Canadians or his friends? Right. Yeah.
L'honorable ministre des Finances et du Revenu National.
Kusi cracks me up. She's a funny lady.
Mr. Speaker, it is very clear we have already chosen Canadians, and Canadians have chosen us, Mr. Speaker, to lead this nation, to build a more ambitious Canada, to build a strong Canada, to build the best economy in the G7. Together on this side of the House, we're going to build the Canada of the future, Mr. Speaker.
The PRC chose those guys.
For Dufferin-Caledon.
It doesn't matter which Liberal stands up to answer a question in this Parliament or last Parliament. They just actually never answer a question, Mr. Speaker. And it's not complicated. Elbows up was dollar for dollar tariffs. Has the Prime Minister already broken his promise to steelworkers, or was elbows up simply just fake news? And now we're facing the Trump tariffs, and steelworkers from coast to coast to coast are in serious jeopardy of losing their jobs. It's a simple question. How much money from these
Things are worse now than they were then. This is from June 2nd.
quote-unquote elbows up tariffs have they generated?
Good question.
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
There's a lot of anxiety across the country, particularly when it comes to the steel and aluminum sectors. That's why over the weekend I've been in contact with industry leaders as well as union leaders, and we will continue to make sure that we protect their jobs. In order to be in solution mode, Mr. Speaker, we will make sure that Canadian steel and aluminum is used in our major infrastructure projects. That is why steel workers have said over the weekend, at a time where our steel and aluminum sectors are being hit by massive U.S. tariffs, this is the kind of leadership we've been demanding, and it has delivered.
The honourable member for Kildonan St. Paul.
To be clear, the Prime Minister promised elbows up against U.S. tariffs. He promised dollar for dollar counter tariffs. He promised it would generate $20 billion in revenue, but he broke those promises. He secretly dropped counter tariffs to effectively zero. He stopped fighting back against President Trump pretty early on, and now Trump is threatening to double tariffs on Canadian steel to 50%, a direct attack against our workers, their livelihoods, and the Canadian economy. So if the Prime Minister really is elbows up, if he's really fighting back, can he tell our steelworkers how many dollars have been collected in counter tariff revenue from the U.S.? How many dollars? What's the number, Mr. Speaker?
The Honourable Minister of Industry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to thank my colleague and congratulate her for the fact that she will be now my critic. So good news, looking forward to working with her. Indeed, the comments coming out of the White House are preoccupying. That being said, no executive order has been signed yet. So we take these comments very seriously, but we are working on all scenarios. That's why the Prime Minister is in Saskatoon meeting with the premiers of the provinces and territories. And that's also why we will make sure that we execute our plan, fight, protect, and build. Thank you.
We're in worse shape than before the fight began. Come on.
Looks like. For Lethbridge.
Mr. Speaker, in the last Parliament, these Liberals forced through one piece of censorship legislation after another. Bill C-18, which of course stops the spread of news on social media outlets. Bill C-11, which controls what Canadians can see and say online. And then came Bill C-63, which is bloated censorship legislation, which actually brought in an internet czar and controls freedom of speech. The Liberals claim that this is a, quote, new government. So my curiosity is this. Whoever is in charge over there, of course, will they commit to respecting Canadians and, of course, stop censoring them?
L'honorable ministre de l'Identité.
This guy, Stephen Guilbeault, man, the devil, not even in disguise, just the devil.
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, for decades we've witnessed journalists losing their jobs, newsrooms shutting down, and local media going bankrupt. Access to fact-based information from coast to coast to coast is essential to keep Canadians informed. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, my Conservative colleague did not believe that preserving this pillar of our democracy is important. On our side, we choose to...
Give me a break. Reading straight from the paper? Lord.
We chose to pass the Online News Act to ensure that journalists can continue their important work for our country, for our democracy, for our Canadian unity.
The honourable member for Lethbridge.
So what I'm hearing is that this is the same old government, absolutely hell-bent on continuing to censor what Canadians can see and say online. My question is with regards to Bill C-63 and going forward. You see, C-63 doesn't just target predators, it targets opinions, it targets freedom of thought, it targets discourse within the online sphere. It institutes thought police, for crying out loud. It's a Trojan horse for further government control. So I ask again, in any future legislation going forward, will this
Rachel Thomas is a standout.
Liberal government commit to respecting Canadians and making sure that they do not censor them?
L'honorable ministre de...
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, just about everything that the member said in her intervention is wrong. Bill C-11 ensures that Canadian artists get rewarded, as they should, by online platform, Mr. Speaker. Bill C-11 makes sure that Canadian content can be discovered by Canadians, by my kids, by all of our kids, instead of just international artists, Mr. Speaker. That's exactly what what Bill C-11 does. It gives the opportunity for Canadians to discover Canadian artists, something we should all support, Mr. Speaker.
He's a dangerous person.
Kamloops, Thompson, Nicola.
5 to 7 grains of salt. 0.2 milligrams. That's how much fentanyl it takes to kill somebody. So, Mr. Speaker, it's no surprise that Canadians would be shocked when somebody who had 24 grams of fentanyl, enough to kill thousands of people, was sentenced to house arrest. Who do I blame? Again, not the judge, not the prosecutor, not the defense lawyer. I blame these Liberals for their lack of action, for passing Bill C-5. So when will they finally legislate so that people who traffic fentanyl can't serve their sentence on the couch?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
He's the dancing clown. This is Sean Fraser again. He's from Nova Scotia here, and I'm not one bit proud of that. He's gross.
Mr. Speaker, it's clear the fentanyl crisis is responsible for the taking of innocent lives in this country. It's incumbent upon all members of this House to approach this with empathy, but also with a level of seriousness can prevent fentanyl from sweeping through the nation, causing such damage. Going forward, we are going to be implementing a series of reforms that will target violent offenders, repeat offenders, and organized crime, which was responsible for the preponderance of fentanyl in this country. I hope that we can work across the aisle on this important issue to help keep Canadians safe and protect our communities.
Member for Kamloops, Thompson, Nicola.
Mr. Speaker, that all sounds great. Unfortunately, that minister voted for Bill C-5 that took away mandatory minimums for people serving their sentence for fentanyl trafficking, for gun trafficking, for extortion with a firearm. Fentanyl is killing people, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers. So will that minister look into this camera, Mr. Speaker, and tell people whose children are victims, people who have died from
Go, Caputo, go.
From fentanyl, will he look into that camera and tell them that he will legislate to end this insanity?
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Mr. Speaker, it's essential that we approach this level with the seriousness with which it deserves, including respect for decisions that have come from courts in this country. As we move forward, we're going to work in a manner that will ensure serious crimes will be treated seriously and serious offenders will be punished seriously. Mr. Speaker, I hope we can avoid turning something as serious as the fentanyl crisis into a partisan issue for political gain, and instead work to advance measures in a collaborative manner to help protect Canadians, their families, and communities in every region of this country.
Just a heads up, everybody, this guy, Roman Baber, is one to watch. He's exciting. Won't find him on YouTube very often, but he's got a presence on X. He seems like a very serious individual. I noticed him right away in the House of Commons. He's pretty...
Member for York Centre.
Speaker, after a lost decade of this Liberal government, housing in Toronto is unaffordable. Last week, we learned that new home sales are at a record low. Now, according to Oxford Economics, as a result of high immigration, quote, residents of Toronto spend more of their income on housing than the residents of nearly every other city in the world. You'd think that would prompt the Liberals to present a serious plan. Instead, they want a break for the summer without a plan. Speaker, will the Prime Minister respect the will of this House and pass a budget before his summer vacation?
The Honourable.
She just flew in on her broom. Here's Chrystia Freeland, Minister of Transport now.
Minister of Transport.
Mr. Speaker, I really like to believe...
Look at the outfit on Jolie there. She's all dressed up as a PRC military woman.
That all members of this House are sincere in their desire to make life better for Canadians.
Hear, hear.
That they want to make life more affordable, that they want to get more homes built. And that is why I really hope that the members on the opposite side of the House will join us in supporting the One Canadian Economy legislation. This will help us build more homes faster. It will bring down prices for Canadians by 15% if we can remove all trade barriers in our own country.
Hear, hear.
She's such a lunatic. Let me know in the comments what you think about Chrystia Freeland. Smash the subscribe, hit the like if you're having any fun with this video.
The Honourable Member for York Centre.
The Minister of Housing said he doesn't want to bring down prices for Canadians. But Speaker, Toronto residents can't afford a roof over their head. When I knocked on doors this spring, voters would tell me that they can't afford their mortgage. Or in apartments, they'd say, Roman, I can't afford my rent. It's heartbreaking. Liberal immigration policies are forcing Torontonians to spend more on their income on housing than anyone else on planet Earth. But the Prime Minister is failing Canadians and refuses to listen to this House. Speaker, when will the Prime Minister deliver a budget?
Hear, hear.
There still is no budget, and now they're saying October. Give me a break.
The Minister of Transport.
Mr. Speaker, one of the policies the Prime Minister campaigned on was building modular housing.
She shouldn't bring up any of the campaign promises Carney platformed on. There's no chance, man. Any Canadian that's paying attention, it's embarrassing.
As a way to get more homes built faster, and we know that by removing barriers to internal trade in our country, we can get a modular housing industry going in our country. Exactly. That is one of the solutions to the housing crisis. I hope the members opposite will be constructive and support this important legislation.
You know what they say, it's hard to put makeup on a pig. It's not impossible, it's just really difficult, as you can see. Not sure where the Conservatives get all these rookies with so much common sense, but Aaron Gunn here from British Columbia, you'll notice him in the next session for sure.
For North Island, Powell River. After 10 years of Liberal government, Mr. Speaker, many Canadians no longer feel safe in their own communities. Violent crime is up 50%. Gang homicides are up 78%. Gun crime up 116%. The direct result of the revolving door Liberal justice system, or injustice system, I should say, and weak Liberal laws that serve the interest of criminals and not Canadians. So, Mr. Speaker, if this really is a new government, will the Prime Minister repeal Trudeau's old soft on crime policies, including Bill C-5 and Bill C-75?
The Minister of Public Safety.
Guess who's up? I'll give you a hint. He's linked to terrorism activities, allegedly. Another Randy Bossino situation, my goodness.
Our plan to keep communities safe will keep drugs, guns, and criminals off our streets. We're committed to hiring 1,000 more CBSA and 1,000 more RCMP officers to secure our border and help keep our streets safe. We're partnering with police services across the country to fight organized crime. We will make it tougher for violent criminals to get bail and impose stricter sentences for repeat violent offenders. We will always be there to protect Canadians.
The member
How many nuts do you think he's carrying around in those pouches?
for North Island, Hull River.
Mr. Speaker, the now Minister of Public Safety said during the campaign that there was nothing wrong with the bail system in Canada. He even said it was, quote, quite sound. This despite the deadly spree of murders and other violent attacks committed by those out on bail and frontline officers across the country demanding immediate reform. So does the Prime Minister agree with his Minister of Public Safety that there's no problem with the bail laws in Canada or the frontline officers who are demanding real action now?
Hear, hear. Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, it's always heartening to see.
What is he grinning about?
The opposition clip something that's completely out of context, and unfortunately the Conservative candidate in my riding didn't even show up for the debate. So let me just be clear. Our government was elected on April the 28th with a mandate of ensuring that our communities are safe. That is exactly what we will do. We will work with law enforcement. This morning I had the opportunity to meet along with the Minister of State for Labour, members of the
Read the paper, bud. Keep reading from the paper.
CPA, Canadian Police Association, and I look forward to working with law enforcement across this country to make our communities safer, Mr. Speaker.
Do you feel safer in your community with him as our public safety minister? Give me a break. Tamal Tiger.
The member for
MP Shipley here would make a fridge jealous by the way he's built. Look at the shoulders on this guy.
Honourable member for Barrie, Springwater, Oro Medonte.
Mr. Speaker, under this Liberal government, the cost of groceries and food prices continue to skyrocket. This year alone, the cost of apples is up 19%. Beef strip loin is up 34%. White rice is up 14%, and infant formula is up 9%. We know this Liberal government's deficit spending drives inflation and leads to higher prices at the grocery store. Will the minority Liberal government table a budget that reverses this inflationary spending so Canadians can afford to put food on their table?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
Mr. Speaker, child poverty is down.
Nobody sucks the life out of a room quicker than Patty Hadu. She is repulsive. Every portfolio she's ever touched has turned to shit. And she hates being her everywhere she goes. She just sucks the life out of everything she goes around. She's
38% since 2015, and overall 26% in the general population 18 to 65, Mr. Speaker. But, you know, the party opposite could help by not voting against things that make it better for Canadians, like things like the Canada Child Benefit or dental care or the school food program or supports for apprentices, Mr. Speaker.
She had to read those 4 things from a list. She owns that portfolio. Give me a break, Patty Hadu. Retire lady.
Every step of the way, the Conservative Party stands in the way of families.
The Honourable Member for Barrie, Springwater, Oro Medonte.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister said he wants to be held accountable for what Canadians pay at the grocery store. This year, Canadians are spending $800 more on groceries, and the Barrie Food Bank is now supporting upwards of 7,000 people per month, 37% of which are children. Instead of offering relief and a real fiscal plan, this Prime Minister is spending $500 billion without telling Canadians where the revenue is coming from. When will this Prime Minister table a budget that fights inflation so that Canadians can afford to feed their families?
The Honourable Minister of Jobs and Families.
Mr. Speaker, a tax cut for 22 million Canadians is exactly the kind of support that Canadians are asking for.
Yeah, everybody wanted that $9.
And that's why they elected us, Mr. Speaker, because they know that when things are difficult for Canadians, that they can count on the Liberal government to be there for them, whether it's to help raise healthy children, make sure their kids get a good breakfast in the morning, or make sure that they too can afford childcare so that they can continue to grow and earn great livings across this country. Mr. Speaker, we'll be there for Canadians.
She's disgusting. Gross. We're skipping around with the Conservatives, and in this one, we're going to have Heather McPherson. She is also a disaster in the House. She's asking our Foreign Affairs Minister, Anita Anand, some questions. The light bulbs might break or shatter in your house or apartment if you're listening to this. Turn down the volume. Oh my goodness, it's something else.
Indians were shocked to learn that Indian Prime Minister Modi has been invited to the G7 meetings here. This is deeply troubling and hurtful for the Sikh community and for all Canadians that are concerned about human rights and foreign interference. And now
she's in touch with the Sikhs. She was buddy-buddy with our friend there, Jagmeet, you know, the one that destroyed the NDP party and our democracy.
Now we find out that the Saudi leader has also been invited. This G7 is becoming, honestly, it's becoming a showcase of tyrants. Will this Prime Minister rescind those invitations and make sure that the people coming to this G7 believe in human rights and believe in people, not profits?
The Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister and I have spoken with our Indian counterparts, and there has been an agreement for continued law enforcement dialogue. I will say, Mr. Speaker, that the G7 is a critical forum for global leaders to have productive and frank discussions. The RCMP's independent investigation is ongoing, and in this country, the rule of law will never be compromised. We will always stand up for the safety and security of Canadians. Thank you.
She's such dead weight. Yuck. I don't really know MP Lewis here very much, but I do know Dominique LeBlanc. Happy hour somewheres, bud. How did it work out with those aluminum tariffs, the steel tariffs? How did you do?
Ethics.
Speaker, let's be clear. Donald Trump's 50% tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum are wrong and unjustified. Facing enormous business and job losses, the very Prime Minister who promised to be elbows up is now allowing trade at the new Gordie Howe Bridge to collapse. The Prime Minister promised retaliatory tariffs to secure $20 billion to support steel and aluminum workers. Will the Prime Minister commit today to table a spring budget, or will he just let his empty promises rust?
The Honourable Minister for Canada-US Trade and Intergovernmental Affairs.
Yeah, keep going, Mr. Speaker. It sounds great. Mr. Speaker, our government received a mandate from Canadians to negotiate a new security and economic partnership with the United States. We entirely share our colleagues' view that the tariffs imposed not only on steel and aluminum at a ridiculously punitive rate of 50% are unjustified and illegal. So are all the other tariffs, Mr. Speaker, imposed on the Canadian economy. That's why Canada responded firmly and clearly, and we also said we'll support our industries and our workers.
How did that all work out? How are you doing supporting Canadians in our trade war? Dumb.
As we get through this together.
Absolutely.
You lose.
All right, clowns. Canada's economy's tanking. Polls are lower than a moose's nuts, and this guy crashed our meeting. Ideas now!
Mr. Speaker, we tax rainbows. Rainbows have colors. Colors mean diversity. Diversity means jobs. Fiscally brilliant, Mr. Speaker.
Christia, no speaker. Taxing rainbows? You're twitching like you snorted Tim Hortons donut icing.
Climate change. Rainbows are climate change. Tax them for the ice caps. Ban igloos. They trap heat. Climate change.
Folks, big plan. Highway to the moon. Buck a beer up there.
Doug, you're not invited? Moon Highway? You and Christia chugging Crown and Coke again?
Sober since 2019. Worse than tequila nightmares. France voicemails me in Quebecois.
Comrades, seize the Timbits. Free poutine for all. Socialism fixes stuff.
Yo, Mark, your financial advisor here. Fund the moon thing with like good vibes, man. From my mom's basement, eh?
Justin, stay retired.
Mr. Speaker, fund the moon highway with fairy dust. Sparkly means magic. Magic means growth.
Climate change, ban sex. It's hot.
Moonburgers.
I left Wall Street for this. Knights of the Clown Table.
Mr. Speaker.
Climate change?
On the positive side, we have some common sense in the House. On the negative side, the Liberals are still the government. And they have shuffled the deck of jokers and playing this clown show, magic and trickery, duping, smoking mirrors, delay, divide, distract, anything. Guys, there is an issue in this country. This government is not working for our futures. They're working for theirs. It's scary, embarrassing, and what are we going to do? I'm just trying to get the word out, showing people what I see. Aaron, Canadian Looney, like, share, subscribe. Smash that subscribe. We're trying to grow this thing. That's it. Come and join us for one of the live shows. Question period starts September 15th. See y'all there. We'll have lots of videos coming out in the meantime if you'd like to get caught up on Canadian politics. Again, smash the subscribe and like. Come and join us for one of our shows. That's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Aaron, Canadian Looney, we're out.